excuse the language, but fuck you guys. Not the people watching, not the people subbed, but the people who are attacking Joe and Serebii. It's ridiculous. Let's see. I'm sure any of you guys who actually use Twitter will know what I'm talking about, and spoiler warnings, I have the Pokedex right on the screen. But if any of you actually use Twitter, you would know hashtag I stand with Serebii is trending. It has been trending for quite a few hours now. It's trending in Florida, it's trending in the US. It's trending, and you might be like, that's a good hashtag. Hashtag I stand with Serebii? Positivity. But the reason that the hashtag was made is ridiculous. The guy literally just reports Pokemon news. And crybaby fans, can't even call them fans anymore, crybabies who should, out of all respect, just leave the Pokemon community in general. This toxic behavior is not wanted or not needed. They just need to leave. Because death threats are not okay. They're not okay. For a guy who gives us news, for a guy who's literally just saying, wait till you get the game, play the game, just to see how it actually is, it's ridiculous. Why is he getting death threats? It is honestly ridiculous. And yeah, I was upset at first learning the whole Pokedex isn't going to be in the game. And I'm doing a live stream just so we can maybe talk about it. Do some talks about it, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I was a little bit upset learning that the Pokedex was in the full game. But guess what I did? I moved on. I'm still hype as ever to play the game. I'm going to be playing the game as soon as I physically possibly can. And I'm hype about it. I mean, in a normal playthrough, my first playthrough, I never played with old Pokemon. So, as long as I have a good list of Pokemon to choose from, I'm fine. Yeah, competitive battling might be messed up. Showdown is going to have one that has all the Pokemon. Play on Showdown if you're really wanting the competitive battling with all your Pokemon. These games look great, they sound great. People who played them early have said they are great. There's just some people who are nitpicking every single little detail about the game. And it's ridiculous. We didn't do it to Sun and Moon until after we played the game. Why are we doing it to Sword and Shield before? Why? Like, there's absolutely no reason for this. And because someone says, hey, play the game, wait until it's out to have an opinion that you can't make because you haven't played the game, don't send him death threats. It's that simple. Don't send him death threats. And his Pokedex, it's great. Like, Rillaboom's cool looking. Cinderace is cool looking. Cinderace is probably going to be my starter. FYI now. Inteleon, I'm a little disappointed that Sobble turned into that, but it's not as bad as I initially thought. Rocketee, Corvivire, Corviknight. That's a strong starting bird. Like, comparable to Staraptor and Talonflame level. Scorvet, Greednut, you know, they're derpy. They're the normal thing. This is Pokemon. And it was bound to happen. The National Dex was bound to happen. So I'm glad they got it all out of the way now, because who knows? If we had 1,000 Pokemon, you know the amount of outrage that would have happened by cutting 600 Pokemon. We're not at 1,000 yet. We're almost. We're at like 910 or something. Maybe the next games will have 1,000. Let's also talk. Okay, next up on the list, Wooloo and Dubwool. You know, I didn't really like Wooloo, but Dubwool actually looks cool. Probably won't use him, but well, not in my first playthrough. Gossifleur, Eldegoss. It's the grass Pokemon. It looks like the grass Pokemon. Nickit and Thievul. Cool looking Pokemon. Like, this Pokedex, I feel like it's still smaller than like what many people hope, because we're still hoping for like that big Pokedex like Black and White, Diamond and Pearl, but it's still pretty strong. Nickit, Thievul, I love. Yamper, Bolthund, I love, and if there weren't so many other amazing electric types, I probably would have used it. Milcery, Alcremie. Interesting, not quite my Pokemon, but still cool. Blipbug, Dottler, and Orbeetle. You know, there's a new Ladybug in town, and I think he looks better than Ledian. I just do. Morpeko, interesting idea. Bound to get that Pikachu clone. Choodle and Dreadnought. I love Dreadnought. Dreadnought's going on my team. I have my whole team written down somewhere. I gotta pull it back up because there's so many cool Pokemon that this team building for me was pretty tough. Hattony, Hattrem, and Hatterene. I haven't really looked too much at this Pokemon, but I think it's cool. Oops, why did I do that? I think it's cool. Like, I don't know if it'll be on like Gardevoir level, but it could be. Arrokuda, Barraskewda, and Cameron. I find it cool that we're bringing back Pokemon that like are based off of each other, like Remoraid and Mantine, Silicobra, and Sandaconda. I love this Pokemon. I'm pretty sure he was on my team list. Can you explain what happened on Twitter? I'm missing something. So what happened was Joe, aka the person who does Serebii, has basically like defended the games. Okay, it looks like the trending has gone down finally. But he basically defended the games and basically has told people, play the game. Wait before you have all this judgmental criticism. Like, he's telling people to calm down. There's too much like, I hate this game, I hate this game, I hate this game. You didn't play the game, but you hate the game. And because he's defended the game, people have been sending him death threats. They've been hating against him. I heard he's also received death threats for not showing leaked information, which he doesn't want to look at the leaked information yet. So Joe Serebii is getting too much death threats for no reason. And it's kind of ridiculous how toxic the Pokemon community has basically gotten. And I guess because of all the hate he's received in the past 6 months, he's actually thought about quitting a few times, and that honestly just would be sad. Like, what would we do without Serebii? The one that always gives us the news as quick as possible, the reliable news. He won't post something that's not just a rumor. He actually waits until it's reliable news. But he's just been receiving death threats. And let's see. If I can pull up a tweet I made towards a guy. This person who tweeted hashtag I stand with Serebii, he wasn't direct. Thanks, I stand with him. Exactly. And that's why it was trending for almost 6 hours. This guy posted, I mean, I actually don't, because this dude is a douche nozzle who is more interested in being Game Freak's lapdog than he is making sure the games are good, but it's hilarious to see a hashtag for him. Kids cry for Dex. Him, I remember Pokemon Ruby. Yeah, only 200 Pokemons. No Charmander, no Bulbasaur, no Totodile. Exactly. And it was bound to happen. At some point, it becomes too many Pokemon. And I find it cooler that if we get Pokemon that are like, makes more sense with the region rather than having a random Pokemon from Gen 2 that makes no sense with the game being there. X and Y. We had, what, how many Pokemon were in the decks for the X and Y? And we couldn't get anything because Pokemon Bank wasn't out for a long time. And when it did come out, it crashed. Sun and Moon, same thing. There was quite a while before Pokemon Bank updated and we were just stuck with the thing. And I honestly believe that 400, well, they data mine 35 more, but I honestly believe that 435 is not the end of it. I feel like they're gonna update the games and be like, yo, December 25th, I think Delibird's in the game. if he's not. December 25th, we're doing a Delibird raid. You can update your games and get in the games now. Like, I feel like their raids might bring in future Pokemon that aren't even programmed in the game yet through updates. So, like, people are crying now. We don't know what's gonna happen. When we get next games, who knows how many Pokemon are gonna be in the game? Yes, 400. I found, like, at first when I heard only 400 Pokemon were gonna be in the game, I was a little like, that's not a lot. But, like, death threats, is that needed? Do we need to send death threats against a guy who's just reporting news and telling people, hey, you haven't played the game yet, calm down? It's mind-blowing. Just mind-blowing, the hate. And I see kids buy Pokemon Ruby to move next gen, but if we see old Pokemon back in future games, yeah, we'll see all these Pokemon back. And I don't remember, like, I can't find it now, so I must have gone crazy, but I could have sworn they were saying there's some things that Pokemon Home is going to be able to do, and for some reason I thought I saw battling as a part of it. I might be wrong. And if every Pokemon can go to Pokemon Home and we can battle via Pokemon Home, okay, then we're good. And then what about between, yeah, like you were saying with Pokemon Ruby, Johto, there was no capability between Johto and 3rd gen. All Pokemon from Johto and before were just gone. At least this way you can bring your Pokemon into Pokemon Home, and in a future game they're in, you still have them. So there's no saying goodbye to your shiny you hunted 20 hours for. It's gonna be back. If it's not in Sword and Shield, it's gonna be back for Celestial, Diamond, and Pearl. It's like, we're gonna get them back. Like, and I got my team planned out. I'm not using any old Pokemon, like, I'm using Galarian forms, but that's about it. Let's see if I can... I chose Flapple. I love Oops. I love Flapple and Apple Sun. Like, they're funny. They're cool. Oops. Oh my lord. I hate how I can't, like, view both the thing I posted my team on and my chat. I'm choosing Weezing, my Galarian Weezing, favorite Pokemon. He has to join my team. Dragapult. This pseudo is actually cool, and I hope he's not too late in the game. He probably is. But I'm using Dragapult. I'm using Dreadnought. I'm using Centiskorch, which I'm gonna start with Cinderace until I get Centiskorch. Cinderace is my favorite out of the starter final evos, and Toxicity. They're all these Pokemon. It was hard to choose a team, honestly. Like, I wanted to use Cinderace, I wanted to use Rillaboom, I wanted to use Thievul and Bolt Hunt. I wanted to use Colossal. I wanted to use I think I'm back. I guess OBS just completely disconnected. I think we're back, okay. But yeah, this Pokédex is just insane. Like, the new Pokemon, there's so many good new Pokemon. Like, the ones I don't really like, Greednut, just because I don't ever use that Pokemon, like the normal type at the beginning. Alchemy, just not my style. Eldegoss, not my style. Cramorant looks weird, but it is what it is. Like, there's very little that I don't like in this game. Indini, it reminds me of Audino. And the fossils I probably won't use because there's none of them that actually, like, mesh well. Fairlinks is also cool. I used Wishy-Washy in my playthrough of Sun and Moon. So there's not much that I won't use. And I'm choosing Sword just for Flapple, I think. Like, Flapple's the only one I think I'm gonna actually use with the exclusive. And Hydreigon. I'm gonna have Hydreigon on. Not on my team, but as my Pokemon. But let's see if I could find... If I can go on Twitter and I can go to Joe's tweets. There was a whole list of complaints for the game. Let's see. Let's see. Is it this one? Is it? No, it's not on that tweet thread. There's a tweet thread where... No. One of the tweet threads takes it back to like a link on Reddit where someone complains about the game and gives a whole list of issues. It's not on that tweet thread. A lot of people went all out on one of his posts. Maybe it's this one? There. Complete list of problems so far. Okay. Let's see if I can try to copy, put it in here. Let's talk about these per se issues. Okay, number one, the number of usable Pokemon has been cut. Only less than half are now usable, known as Dexit. It means that you won't be able to use the Pokemon in the new games, that you won't be able to use these Pokemon in the new games, you won't be able to transfer them in, you won't be able to do anything with them, sticking them in home for the foreseeable future. Home will probably be paid, which makes sense. For all intents and purposes, these Pokemon are basically removed from the main game franchises, and they will probably take years to come back, if ever. Years. The generation that had the least amount of Pokemon added in the new decks was Gen 4. And we're probably getting a Gen 4 remake like in a year. So years. The excuse used for this culling was it will let them work on delivering better animations and more carefully crafted games, since they won't have to put more time and effort into redoing the models. This is complete BS, as the game polish is worse than ever and the models seem to be somewhat edited X and Y models. That's completely wrong. We've seen images. Like, sure, they could have used them old ones, but they revamped them, they restyled them, they did a lot with them. Just like the Pokemon cut, about 144 moves were removed. 99 moves excluding the Let's Go and other outlier moves that are extremely important and used mainstay like Hidden Power. I mean, Hidden Power was a good move for competitive battling, but it's not the end of the world. Just, we'll have to plan different teams to counter different Pokemons. Where is it? Pursuit. I never liked the move Pursuit. I thought it was a cheap gimmick. Return. Okay, Return could be kind of bad, but there's other normal type moves that do more damage than Return. Signature moves of certain Pokemon. A lot of these signature moves are Pokemon that aren't in the game. The joke is, if any fan skips this gen in future games, maybe search for Gen 8 Pokemons. That's why Don't Skip is no Let's Go. Yeah, like... And I'd rather the people that are hating the game just to skip the game. Like... Yeah, they're honestly gonna miss out on a lot. They're gonna miss out on raid battles, they're gonna miss out on a whole year of Pokemon, but I'd rather them skip the game. I'd rather them not enjoy the fun than continue to just try to ruin it for the people who are looking forward to the game. And honestly, the people that are sending death threats, I just wish would never come back to the Pokemon community, unless they matured. But yeah, a lot of these moves are signature moves that got cut because the Pokemon aren't in the game anymore. Or at least for this generation. The signature moves might come back. I guess that sending it to home will delete the move. I don't know how someone might know that. Like, I don't know how anyone would know this yet, because you can't transfer Pokemon yet. Short game, the first streamer beat the champion at around the 14-hour mark. While he did this by skipping a fair amount of trainer battles, other streamers are clocking in at 16 to 20 hours. Seems like the average will be about 18 hours to beat the game. Pokemon's always been a short game. Like, it's still probably going to take me 50 parts just to beat the game, because I'll be exploring everything. I'll be doing raid battles. I'll be doing all that. But yeah, if you're not playing with anyone, you're not doing the whole main thing of Pokemon, not collecting every Pokemon, yeah, it's going to take 16 to 20 hours. A lot of games take that long. A lot of Pokemon games take that long. Were we expecting Breath of the Wild? We shouldn't. And that's probably another reason why people are more upset, because we didn't get a Breath of the Wild, I guess, or an Odyssey, even though this game has more data space than Odyssey. But I think maybe it's later. I feel as if all the hate stems from the Dex cut. Like, if you notice that once the Dex cut was released, everyone started making excuses like bad graphics, bad design, lags. Yeah, it has to do with the Dex cut, but and Game Freak's already said they're not changing it. It was bound to happen, because eventually at some point, creating 1,000 Pokemon, putting that all into one cartridge, that's going to cause more lag and make the gameplay even more more not good enough. Like, you saw Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. If you played that on the 3DS, it lagged. So they're very nitpicking on smaller stuff, which has been worse in other gens just because of the Dex. The graphics are extremely mediocre. It constantly works worse and less polished than Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. The textures are often inexcusable. Okay, well, let's see these examples. Okay, so it's just so immature that people are really expecting a game with over 400 models and animations to have similar graphics to Breath of the Wild. Exactly. This is a Pokemon game too. Like, let's see if I can put in a Y Pokemon graphics. Like, look at this. Of course I can't open it. But like, look at these graphics of X and Y. Like, come on. Even Sun and Moon. Look at Sun and Moon. Like, it's light years worse than this, but people seem to forget that, like, look at these graphics. They're better than this. Look at this. I'm good with this cut, Game Freak. Yeah, and competitive battling is going to be so much easier now. But like, come on, you're telling me that these graphics are worse than this? Like, that's the thing. Ever since we went to 3D stuff, it's easier to nitpick the graphics. Like, I think this looks actually great. Look at the grass. It's very... No, I think the grass looks nice. Tyranitar just chilling out there looks cool. Like, it looks better than this. Like, they look... It looks better. But Breath of the Wild maybe had over 50 unique models and lagged at times as well. Sword and Shield looked pretty great and ran pretty smoothly with over 400. Like, they want to tell me that this, which some of the trees look a lot better than that, looks better than this. I mean, looks worse than this. Like, it's 3D graphics that they're constantly improving. Okay, let's see. Comparison with Let's Go. Let's Go also had a lot less Pokemon. didn't have Dynamax Pokemon, so they didn't have to make 2 different Pokemons. They only had 151. So even still, the backgrounds of Sword and Shield look so much more like personal than Let's Go. Like, the art style is 2 different games. Here's a game recently released for the Switch. Okay, I'd say the background is very comparable. Like you said, there's probably not like 800 different sprites, probably closer to 900 due to Gigantamax Pokemon. The constant graphical issue, not just low quality, also examples of bad graphics they give are so dumb. If you see actual gameplay and not just screen caps of low res footage, you can, like, even their trailers, you can see the difference. Pop in is present at all points in the game due to bad coding. This is explained. Trainer models will also disappear mid-battle when an attack with a high number of particles is used. This also happened in Sun and Moon, however, Sun and Moon moved the camera away to avoid people seeing it. They didn't even try this time. Ill Pokemans. Like, okay, it happened in Sun and Moon. Of course, a bunch of particles might cause them to have to remove something. And plus, they can always, if it's an actual thing where it's more of a bug, they can always update the game. That means it's either a carryover from Sun and Moon, and they just copy and pasted most of the code, or they somehow have to remove the trainers to avoid a Switch from getting somehow getting FPS drops. My Switch has gotten FPS drops. Let's see the pop-ins. Oh! Well, like, do they expect... Also, Let's Go was still in the same old linear route format, so it needed much less power to actually function. So they're saying because there's not people ages in, there's not people like way in the background, it looks bad. That's what they're saying right there. Let's see this. Let's see this one. Okay, a tree that's not part of the background. And plus, they can always patch this up and fix it. Okay, Dusknoir appeared. I don't see... Like, Pokemon popped in and Let's Go. Like that. Oh, the trees. Like... What do they expect? It's the first game on the Switch. X and Y wasn't polished for being on the 3DS. Trainers disappearing mid-battle. And plus, how much of this is actually, like, fully done? Like, people have downloaded the games. Maybe they still have a day one patch that they're planning on putting in. Like, they're downloading and playing the games early. Who knows if it's actually full-on complete to their release standards. It's a 30 FPS locked game, okay. They gotta start somewhere. The Switch is a whole new beast they have to handle. Know how to load 1 or 3 models. They just put Lily. Animations was one of the main reasons why Game Freak cut Pokemon, at least in the interviews, as are as shoddy as ever. Most of the animations are completely copy-pasted from older games. Also, I feel like people overestimate how powerful the Switch actually is. Exactly, it's not... So this is kind of a bad comparison for them. Look at the graphics difference between the two. Yeah, sure, the animation... Okay, the rivals are doing this. But look at the difference in graphics right there. Like... I mean, 30 FPS is all the Switch can handle, I'm pretty sure, so obviously the game would be locked at 30. Exactly. But like, look at this. The graphics, they're basically showing how different the graphics are. Ooh, I love... Oh, man, this Pokemon looks so good, though. Look at the backgrounds of the battle! Okay, I kind of don't want to get spoiled too much there. I feel like I could have easily gotten spoiled too much. Okay, let's not get story spoiled there. In fact, it could be considered way worse. This isn't played on the 3DS right here. This is Citra. This is improved graphics. Are they... They're comparing a PC playing Ultra Sun and Moon to the actual... to an actual console? Are you kidding? The first streamer avoided fights and didn't train at all. It was still one-shotting Gym Leader Dynamax Ace Trainer. Turn off the experience share. Okay, I don't want to get too much spoiled, like, story-wise. Post-game is almost non-existent. Post-game is mostly competitive battling and raids. They've made it clear. So yeah, you can't raid in competitive battle when you're playing the game early and there's not people to play with. So as usual, since Masuda stated directing, there's no frontier. There is also no frontier-like facility. The post-game consists of battle tower. There's no frontier-like facility, but there's a battle tower. Contradict yourself, okay? And a very short sequence of missions where you beat some Dynamax Pokemon for your rival to catch the other legendary. But their personalities do seem the same. And yeah, like, they're both doing that. But I mean, the graphics difference is also like, it shows how much better the graphics are. And plus are we gonna complain about Pokemon Racing animations now? Like, they're tearing apart this game way too much more than they have any other game. And I mean, I guess it's a new generation. After we played X and Y, people hated X and Y. After we played Sun and Moon, people hated Sun and Moon. After we played Black and White, people hated Black and White. I just don't understand all this hate before we've actually played the game. Where you beat some Dynamax Pokemon for your rival to catch the other legendary. I've read that there's actually like 2 hours of post-game missions. That uses a stab move on a rock fire type, obviously. Exactly. If he's only... not only this, but the battle tower is also an inferior version of past towers. It doesn't have a super single nor super double battles. It has no triple battles, and there's no tower bosses. It's just random trainers and NPCs after another 10. Problems with game design and behavior beyond difficulty and progression. There's other problems in overall game design. Examples of this is not being able to catch Pokemon in the wild areas. Okay, wait, let's talk about the battle tower. I live in the EU and I pre-ordered the game in USA shop. So the game don't open in EU time, I think. Because you bought it in the USA shop, it's going to open at Eastern Standard Time USA. That's why I'm going to buy the game on the Australian shop so I can play it Thursday. So let's talk about the battle tower. I think they've made competitive battling so easy to do in this generation that we don't, like, okay, battle tower, cool, you could test your mons. That's what it probably is all going to be, is you're going to test your mons, you're going to test your moves you're using. But I feel like they want to put more of an emphasis on online competitive battling. And cool, like, because of how easy it looks, I'm probably going to do a ton of online competitive battling versus what I've done in the past, just because I didn't ever have the time to be like, okay, I'm going to breed this Pokemon. I'm going to breed it again so I can get 4 IVs, and then I'm going to breed it again, and breed it again, breed it again. I didn't have time to do that, but because competitive battling, making competitive Pokemon look easier, I can now just be like, okay, 2 hours of my time, team built, right there. Examples of this is not being able to catch Pokemon in the wild areas until you got a badge allowing you to do so, which usually covers your current level, meaning if you find a level 31 shiny or a level 31 Pokemon you really want, you won't be able to catch it until you go and beat the next gym. So what this person is wanting is he wants to be able to catch a level 31 Pokemon going against a level 13 gym leader. Didn't he just complain about the games being easy? And I mean, yeah, the shiny part sucks, and not being able to get the shiny sucks, but like, why go to the super strong wild areas if you're not technically strong enough and you're just gonna get OHKO'd anyway? For shiny hunters, this next one's gonna be really important. And I've shiny hunted quite a bit in the past on my own, and I like shiny hunting. You cannot see if your Pokemon is going to be shiny or not in the overworld. This means that on top of the badge limit, you also got this potential problem. Sun and Moon. You couldn't see what Pokemon were shiny until you got into the battle either. Yeah, it would have been cool being like, okay, like in Let's Go, being able to see the shiny. But yeah, that's how many more overworld sprites it'd have to do. Like, okay, we gotta run into Pokemon. We've been doing that since 1990 something. Evidence here. Okay. I mean, that wasn't really good because you can't really see them, but okay. I'll run into a Pokemon if I want a shiny hunt. Remove past features with virtually no new additions. Seems like this is a mainstay in Pokemon, removing older features so they become one-of-a-time gimmicks. But unlike earlier titles, this new game doesn't add anything new except Dynamaxing, which is limited to gyms only. My cat's attacking stuff. Pokemon Camp, that's not a new feature. The Curry, that's not a new feature. The Mints, that's not a new feature. Like, come on. Other than Z moves, what did Alola have? If we're talking about like Dynamaxing as a gimmick, what other than Z moves, what did Alola have? Other than Megas, what did X and Y have? And I loved Megas. I didn't really like Z moves, but I loved Megas. Particular Gen removes Megas and Z moves. Mega evolutions in particular were a huge deal, and seeing them suddenly removed, there's little reason to get involved with any new addition, no matter how mainstaying or how much Game Freak forces it, when it will very soon be gone. Wild area? Oh. Wild area. Wait, what? But, okay, yeah, I'm gonna miss Mega Evolutions. But, like, balancing becoming an issue. Not gonna lie. Like, each generation, Pokemon were getting stronger, and you had to have a Mega on your team. You're now gonna have to have a Dynamax on your team. Could you imagine Pokemon teams if you had a Dynamax, a Mega, and a Z-move user on your team? You would need all three of those to have any chance in competitive battling. So if we keep adding a gimmick, eventually our whole team's going to be gimmicks. Our whole team's going to be gimmicks. A list of these removed features can be found here. No scaling whatsoever. Oh yeah, wild area. I understand what your comment was. That's a new feature. Whatsoever. Models are the same sizes of X and Y, giving them more plausibility to them not really redoing the models. Any argument against this is thrown out the window when Dynamaxing exists, since the models seem to be edited X and Y models. Yeah, they added the wild area. Like, it's pushing us another step closer to getting an actual full-on MMO-like game. Because in the wild area, you can battle, you can see people online. You could kind of do that in black and white, but like, you can see people online in your game. It's like the first game on the Switch. They're working their way to a better game. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were better than X and Y. Sun and Moon were, in my opinion, still a better game. I know people hate Sun and Moon for what it is. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, light years of a better game. Like, I understand it's the first game on the Switch. Well, first main game on the Switch. Let's see, what? Oh, this is the retired replace. Here's the non-scaled model in Sword and Shield. Yeah, Wailord looks a little weird, but could you imagine Wailord taking up the whole screen? So yeah, Wailord looks weird. Yeah, that kinda, I wish maybe he was a bit bigger than that. Yeah, maybe if he was a bit like closer to that. But you can't make Wailord side. No GTS. The only strings that refer to GTS are leftovers from Let's Go. This is most likely due to Home, which maybe we'll be able to use GTS on Home. But who used GTS? Like, I occasionally used it to complete my Pokedex, but going on GTS, seeing a Caterpie and people wanting a level 100 Arceus, I rarely use GTS. I hope Wonder Trade, I think it's Surprise Trade now, is still in the game. A $20 price increase for less content than earlier 3DS games with subpar graphics. We've seen photos, that's not true. And removal of features. They added features too. An overall shoddy release for a higher price point. There's not less content. It's plain and simple. There's just not. It's, if not a little more, I'd say, from what I've seen. Haha. And a $20 paying increase. That's not Game Freak. That's because Switch games cost $60. Switch games cost $60. Like, Pokemon can't be like, no, we're selling it for $40. Like, Switch games cost $60. It's just, it is what it is. Performance game is locked to 30 FPS. So they're now rebringing up. Yeah, the Wailord thing looked a little bit weird, but maybe they'll improve it in the next game. So they're now going back to the 30 FPS, and they're going back to saying it's slow and FPS drops and bad graphics. So they're now repeating points now. Game-breaking bugs. There's now reports of the game soft locking and completely freezing. You're playing it early. They are still going to patch the game. You're playing it early. They might not even have the full patch on the system. So maybe wait a few days before you complain about game breaking, soft locks, game freezing. Wait a little bit. The game's not even out. The overall lack of quality, polish, effort put into the game. This is all minor. I think you see others in online and you can trade with them like MMO. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised in the wild areas doing stuff like that. Lack of quality and effort, which that's kind of rude. I'm sure they've spent hours working on the game, just like any other job a person might have. Apparent in many ways all throughout the game, things like wrong backgrounds are just void for Pokemon battles. Okay, I guess, yeah, that's wrong. But who knows if they're not gonna, they could easily patch this. Like, who's saying that that's gonna be there for now? Void backgrounds. The game isn't even out yet, though. And they're showing all these other ones, but they're not showing the battle screens where it was actually correct in the game. So, like, these can easily... but I forget, hacker can't play online already. Exactly. Those issues can easily be patched and fixed. These happen on indoor fights and some non-indoor, but scripted battles. Examples of backgrounds on indoor... Okay. There's completely lack of music in the game story. Most important moments. Oh, I don't want to look at this, actually. Who knows if that's... Who knows if that's complete. They could still easily be doing bug test on the game. And they'll still probably be doing bug test on the game after it comes out. To this, you add the emptiness of the wild areas and the badly implemented weather changes that don't make much sense. Like, they're complaining about issues right now that can easily be patched and fixed. Let's see. Starters are shiny locked, which... Yeah, that's unfortunate. And I wish they would stop shiny locking starters and legendaries, but... They've been doing that for how many generations now? What was this one again? The game freezing? This game looks so good. These graphics looks... What was I supposed to see there? I don't know what I was supposed to see there. Oh, I guess the trainers stop? Oh, and the Pokemon? Okay. Bugs that need to be patched. Okay. This franchise, no animation for flying. Who knows if the game's fully patched yet. No Elite Four, which I've heard the Elite Four is more like the anime and it's actually like a tournament. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Especially when every single gym leader, like, you won't be able to battle them, but every single type is being used by gym leaders in different leagues. Like, it's the new, it's not like it's trying to be different. No Victory Road. Okay, there's probably like other things that are similar to Victory Road. This is added to all the other problems that show the lack of effort put into them. This franchise deserves better, you deserve better. These titles are not only a huge step down from earlier titles, I doubt that, but it goes beyond what used to be already barely tolerable standards to way below standards. Keep this in mind, this is the biggest, most profitable franchise on Earth. I don't think Game Freak's the most profitable franchise on Earth, but sure, we'll say they are. But now they're working on other games. You can't tell Game Freak, hey, I know you want to make this other game, and I know you want to branch out, but no, only work on Pokemon. This is the first time a Pokemon main game is released on console. People were excited for Game Freak to finally do whatever they wanted. It's been done with the most minimal of efforts. Still saying that these people are putting no efforts in the game, which, if someone were to come to my work and there was something I couldn't fix or I didn't notice or any of that and said I put no effort into my work, I'd feel pretty like people look for no effort when people put effort. All the money you spent on Pokemon didn't went on making this a better game. It went straight into the pockets of the people in charge. That's probably some made-up thing. Those that made sure this was made with the most minimum effort, and those that cut corners. I like how their excuse for new and interesting features are lack of effort because they didn't add what they always have added in trying to be new. Exactly. Keep in mind that your purchase of the game causes this. Continue the yearly release schedule that makes the games rushed and forces the devs to insane crunch time, creating their low forces the devs into insane crunch time. I thought these developers weren't putting any effort into the game. So if they're working hard, insane crunch times, working hard, I thought they were putting no effort into the game. Tells them that you're okay with these problems, and they will keep lowering the bar and cutting corners on develop. Your money will continue going into the pockets of those responsible for these problems. I'm going to tell you that if we didn't get a Pokemon game this year, people were going to complain. These same people complaining about the lack of effort and that cutting corners were going to complain. They're going to go, well, we've gotten a Pokemon game every year for the past how many games now? Are they not good enough, not enough effort to make the game in 1 year still? Like, come on, man, come on, like, why isn't it out yet? Like, come on. And then if they would have cut the Pokedex, it would have made people even more mad. But honestly, I would honestly be fine with the Pokemon coming out every other year. Like, yeah, I play it every year. If they give me more things to do, like, if competitive battling is more of a scene and I can actually keep playing that, I'd be fine with Pokemon every other year. Like, I can play other games. If I'm done playing Pokemon until the next game is out, I can play other games. So sure, I would be fine with waiting an extra year for more Pokemon games. It's that simple. But the thing is these same people that are complaining about the graphics, the lack of full decks, all these things, they were gonna complain. And if it wasn't, like, even if it was a noticeable difference between the games, if it took a whole extra year and they deemed it wasn't good enough on graphics for taking a whole extra year, they would have complained on that too. Like, what can we do? Like, what can we do? There's always going to be people complaining. This toxic behavior is just too much. I'm surprised this person never tweeted back for me responding to his tweet. Let's see if he posted anything else. Yeah, he never posted anything else. Like, this person's commenting on other people's tweets saying, oh, he's an awful dude, I hate Joe. But I don't understand people. Like, let's play the game. Let's not try to hate on people's hype for the game. Let's try to enjoy the game. And if you don't want to enjoy the game, don't buy it. Like, it's as easy as that. Like, if you think the game has problems and you don't want it to keep happening, don't buy it. If Game Freak notices a tank in their sales, they'll make a difference. But if this game sells well, has good reviews, and is actually a great game, they'll do what they're doing. And it's like so mind-boggling because one, it's a complete different change from the 3DS to a Switch. They gotta work on that. They gotta improve on that, and the next game we get on the Switch will be improved on that. It's a whole different console. It's a whole different engine. Even if we get a whole new Switch, the new Switch, it's still gonna be easier to transition from the new Switch or the Switch to the new Switch than it is going from the 3DS to the Switch. And anyone who said that there wasn't lag on the 3DS is completely lying. I've lagged hard on Sun and Moon. There were times I couldn't even play the game. But I guess I really wasn't planning on this rant going this long. How long have we been going? A whole hour? I guess I'll wrap it up here. I didn't plan on ranting this long, but hey, it is what it is. Don't send death threats to Game Freak, to Pokemon, to Nintendo, to Joe, to Serebii, to anyone. That's just not right. Don't send death threats. And if you're not gonna enjoy the game, don't buy the game. Let the people who are hyped for the game stay hyped for the game. This is more, I don't know, I mean, I guess, yeah, sure, you wanted to play Pokemon, but this is for the people are hyped. I'm hyped. I'm ready to play the game. I want to play the game. But I'm gonna wrap it up here. I guess the rant, the only one Pokemon game I was felt disappointed in. Let's go. Only Gen 5. Only 150. I play Pokemon Yellow. And let's go. Only Gen. Yeah. I mean, I bought the Pokeball. I thought the Pokeball was cool. I thought it was a cool gimmick. I have it as a collecting item. I can understand not wanting to pay $50 from you. Yeah, Let's Go. I liked Let's Go too. I thought it was a great game. Fire Red's my favorite game. So I was like, sure, I'll play Let's Go. And I thought Let's Go was a good game. I didn't get much playability out of it. After I finished playing the game, I was kind of okay, I'm done playing the game. I don't really want to play the game anymore. I'm done playing the game. And then I've just been waiting for Sword and Shield. And even still, I'm looking forward to Sword and Shield. Yeah, there's gonna be some issues. Yeah, they're gonna have to patch some things. We got patches day one on a lot of games, but it is what it is. I'm gonna be playing the game in 2 days because changing my account to Australian time. So hopefully we can have a fun time there playing the game. I'm gonna wrap up this live stream here. Didn't plan on it going over an hour, but it did. It did. So I guess I'm gonna try to stream tomorrow. I'd like to get some really good sleep tomorrow just so I can, because I'm probably gonna stay up from work on Thursday to after work playing the game and then till work on Friday. I'm probably gonna just stay awake all through that. So I'm gonna try to get some good sleep tomorrow. But until next time, everyone, see you there. Peace.